Hello guys, what's up? Um, you know what? That was really bad, especially since this is the second take I had to do of this, because of course I accidentally hit the broadcast gameplay and didn't save the last bit of the video. So this is the second take of this, and it's basically a rant as to why I don't think the Mark V Toyota Supra did as good as Toyota thought it was gonna be. I mean, yeah, the Mark IV is a dang good car. I really like the Mark IV, but whenever they came out with the Mark V, I was freaking out, you know? Whenever I saw the Mark V Supra, I looked at it for a little bit and I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of cool. And I looked at it a little more and I was like, okay, it's okay. And I kept looking at it. I'm like, all right, this car looks terrible. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I said it looks absolutely terrible. I said to myself, I was like, this is an absolute garbage looking car. I mean, that's just my opinion on that car, but I don't know why. Well, everyone really likes the Mark IV Supra. Whenever Toyota came out with the Mark V, a lot of people were excited, a lot of people were disappointed, but I was excited at first. But whenever I found out what was actually in this car, I was kind of upset. Apparently, Toyota and BMW teamed up to do this, and they made the chassis together. Whenever they made the chassis, they actually planned on sharing the chassis with the Mark V Toyota Supra and BMW's new Roadster. Now, the BMW makes some good cars, no lie, but I'm not a huge fan of BMWs. That and BMWs are not the most reliable cars in the world. So, I was a little disappointed whenever I found that out. That, and I also found out that it's not even a Toyota engine. It's a BMW i6, which I am so upset that they actually did. And if you guys don't know what an i6 is, it's just a inline 6, normies. Anyway, also another thing I found out is that currently the car is gonna sell for $60,000 to $65,000, or 60 grand, 60 to 65 grand, and it only comes in an automatic transmission. And this upset a lot of people, because they're like, there's no manual transmission option, it's only an automatic. This disappointed a lot of people. Now, more people test drove the Toyota Supra and not the actual BMW Roadster, which a few were a little disappointed that not a lot of people actually drove the didn't actually drive the BMW. They wanted to drive the Supra more, which I understand. You know, we've been waiting for like what, 20, 30 years for a new Supra? Somewhere around there. I might be off by a lot, I don't really know. But to be honest, I wasn't even born yet when the Supra first came out. So, yeah. But the one reason why I like the Supra so much, you go on YouTube and you look up videos of Supras beating Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis, and McLarens, and you can see the absolute shock on, these foreign exotic car owners' faces. It is so hilarious, because you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's a car from it's from the 1990s. This car is beating cars that are from, 2000, that are from like, what, 2011, 2012-ish, and maybe even newer. Like, I've seen Supras beat, Aventadors from, what, 2016, 2015, man. And it's crazy just how fast they are. And that's not even scratching the surface. There are other JDM cars that are legendarily fast, but the Supra is probably one of the best ones. And honestly, I just can't think of any other better JDM car out there that is one of the most legendaries, except for one other Toyota. But anyway, my point I'm trying to get across is that if you were younger and you were alive in the early 2000s, like right around 2002-ish, whenever the first Fast and Furious was released, but the first Fast and Furious was set in 2001, and whenever the movie was released, which was in 2002, a lot of new stuff came out. Anyway, a lot of new stuff came out in 2002. I wasn't alive in 2002. I was born in 2003, so I wouldn't know anything about this. But my guess is that, you know, you're let's just say, okay, so little Timmy's sitting in the sitting in his living room, chilling on the couch, you know, watching some TV, eating some donuts. I don't know what you'd be eating in 2002 or whatever, but anyway, though, you know, eat some donuts, chilling out, watching TV, you know, Nickelodeon at like 8 o'clock in the morning. You stayed up till 11 o'clock. You're pumped. You're like, what, 6 or 7? You're freaking hyped up as crap on sugar and Coca-Cola. You got cans scattered all over the place. Okay, I'm getting too deep into this, but you're sitting there watching the TV and you see this super duper epic commercial for this car movie that you have never ever heard about, and it's brand new, and it's opening weekend this weekend, it's gonna come out in like 2 more months, and you're freaking out because it looks it's just high octane, it's super cool looking. You see this car flip over and everything like that, and you freak out and you scream, "Mom, I want to go see this movie. I want to go see it." And finally, the day comes whenever it's opening weekend, and you go out with your mom to the movie theater. You're getting some popcorn and some drinks at the concession stand, ready to see some high-octane stuff, fixing to wet your pants, so excited kind of stuff. You know, you got your goobers, you got your buttered popcorn. You know, you're sitting there. You finally get to your seats. You finally get your seats there with your mom. You sit down and you look at the big screen and you finally see it. The opening moments of the Fast and Furious. As you're watching it, you're just immersed in car tuning culture and everything. You're just loving it. You're loving the feeling of all these cars driving around super fast. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, I want one of those cars. And you're just thinking it is the coolest thing you have ever seen. You're just thinking, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I wish I had these cars, man. And then it starts getting deeper and deeper into the realism of it. You know, your mom's sitting there and you're like, ah, man, the acting in this is real wooden. It's, you know, it's terrible. But you don't even realize it. You're just looking at the cars. You freaking love it. It's fast-paced. It's high action, high octane. You're just super duper excited to see this movie. And finally, it gets to the part whenever Brian O'Connor's character, or Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor, brings in this burned up, blackened car on this trailer, and it's like, no, joking about it and all this other kinds of stuff. But you see them in the next few weeks get this car ready for race week. This car is the coolest thing you ever done seen. Whenever they pull it out of the garage, oh man, is it beautiful. That bright orange paint job, those high-speed graphics, and the sound of that big turbo spooling up, and you hear that blow-off valve from the car. That's when you realize that you have seen the most beautiful car in your entire life. You got Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. You got Paul Walker and Vin Diesel sitting in this thing, bright orange with these awesome graphics on the side of it. They pull up to a Ferrari on the side of the. They pull up to the Ferrari and challenge him to a race. And you see this, thing whoop this Ferrari's butt, and you are just so stunned that this little, car just beat a Ferrari. You're so excited. You're just loving this car. You love the look of it. You love the sound of it. and you're just like, oh, I want this car. I want this car so badly. Everyone thought this whenever they saw this movie. Everyone wants the Supra. Everyone wanted it just because of the looks. Everyone wanted it because of how fast it was. Everyone wanted it because of how cool it was. And that's whenever you realize you want to get into the car community. Everyone loved the Mark IV Supra, and whenever people saw it in the first Fast and Furious, that's what set everyone off. Everyone loved this car, and then as everyone grew up, everyone took a more fond liking to this car. A few people grew up and actually got to buy the car. A few people actually got to grow up, buy the car, and it was the car of their dreams, man. They're happy. They love this car. It's like the best thing they've ever seen. You know, everyone's happy. Everyone's super duper excited. You know, they love this car. Everyone loved this car at the time. I'm sorry I keep saying super duper excited a lot, but everyone loves this car. And then whenever Toyota came out with the Mark V, everyone freaked out. But a lot of people there were a few people out there who got really excited, and then their excitement turned into pure just, oh my gosh, are you serious? And a lot of people were disappointed in Toyota for, you know, being like, oh my gosh, are you serious? You put an automatic transmission, a BMW engine in it, and you didn't even put a 2JZ in it or a manual transmission. You know, a lot of people were upset about it. And so was I. I was upset. I've always wanted a Supra. And the Supra was such a legendary car because if you bought a Supra, you knew. You can tell it was a Supra. With the newer model Supra, I just don't like the body style. You know, it's too cartoonish. You know, the wheelbase doesn't look right. It's got this bubble top that doesn't look right. It's got too many vents. It's got too many fake vents. You know, it's trying to look too much like an exotic sports car. And for a 60 grand car, you want something that's gonna perform like that. And you don't even get the performance out of it. It's only like a 30 to 20% horsepower. It was only a 20 to 30 horsepower gain from the actual regular twin turbo 2JZ manual transmission bone stock, the Mark IV. But the Mark V only makes like what, 20-30 more horsepower than the stock model of the Mark IV, which is ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. As to why Toyota would do that, I don't know. I really don't know. Another thing I don't like is that since it looks so cartoonish, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right in my opinion. And then, but let me run you through a hypothetical. You can tell that it's a Mark IV Supra. If you look at the front end of the Mark IV Supra, you can tell it's a Mark IV Supra by the headlights, by the bumper, by the hood, by the top of it. You can tell just from the front of it that it is a Supra. Like this, for instance, I'll show you right here. You can tell it's a Supra. No matter what color it is, you can tell just from that angle right there, you can tell that it's a Supra, a Mark IV. And if you turn it to the side, you can still tell it's a Supra. You see that long nose, you see that nice flowing top to a short deck, and you can just see how beautiful this car is. And you can tell what it is. And from this angle too, you can tell it's a Supra without even looking at the badging, without looking at anything. You know it's a Supra just from the taillights, from that bumper. You can tell from the body lines that it's a Supra. You can just tell. It's it's a really recognizable car, but whenever Toyota made the new one, it's so cartoonish. This car is so much longer than the new one. The new one is like a how do I put this into a good perspective for everyone to understand? Basically, the new Supra looks like it looks like a toy car, basically. And whenever you see this Supra, this thing looks like it's gonna eat you for breakfast. I don't know why they didn't take these extreme styling cues from the Mark IV and put it into the Mark V. You know, put an actual 2JZ in it. Put all the stuff that everyone wants into this car. I mean, there's so much you can have done to the Mark IV Supra. And I mean, I can give a few examples right now. Look at these noses. They're so extreme. And it's such a... I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me as to why people have to, I don't know why Toyota had to mess with the Supra. I don't know why they had to mess with the Supra so much. Alright, fine then. I'll just have the painted canards. Anyway, I just don't know why Toyota had to mess with the Supra so much. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Because the Mark IV Supra looked fine the way it was. And my personal opinion is if they would have just taken the body of a Mark IV Supra, you know, just the schematics of it. I want to keep the taillights. If they just would have taken the schematic of it, you know, and they just would have taken the schematic of it and been like, okay, well, let's just take it and, well, we'll just put extra performance stuff on it. I don't understand why they couldn't have just done... that is a huge fart can. Sorry. I just don't understand why they just don't, you know... I don't understand why they just don't take the Supra and do a few modern modifications to it, like independent suspension and, independent front and rear suspension, you know, tune up the rear axle, you know, give it all-wheel drive that you can turn on and off, you know. Wouldn't that be nice? And then you can also have stuff like you can have stuff like oh my god, that looks good. But you just well, those look good. Sorry. But you really just want a car that's gonna look good. And with there being so much modification that you can do, to be honest, I think whenever Toyota makes the whenever Toyota finally starts selling these to the public, starts selling these cars to the public, people are going to be doing transmission and engine swaps on them because people want the 2JZ and people want the you know, they want this. They want to have a fast car, and they want to have a good looking car. They want to have a good sounding car. And it's not fair that Toyota took it away from us. But anyway, though, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to leave you off here, guys, with the stats of this car, which, to be honest, yes, it is pretty legendary. And everyone loves it. Everyone will love these stats for sure. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe. And if you don't like my opinion, go ahead and tell me. I mean, I don't mind if you guys' opinion is different than mine. I won't take any offense to it, and I won't diss you for it anyway. So, another thing, guys, I'm going to try getting a different video out I'm gonna try getting a different video out this week, since this week is spring break for me. I don't know if it's spring break for you, but comment down below if it is. Also, I really hope you guys enjoy me talking about this, or not. You can dislike it if you don't want to, or you can like it if you feel like it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I wouldn't mind that, and I would love at least 2 likes on this video. And if you guys don't agree with me on this, on the Mark V Supra, that's your problem, not mine. And it's you know, it's your problem, not mine. I don't really care. I don't know how else you're gonna say that. But anyway, though, guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. I guess I'm gonna see you guys later. Like I said, I'm gonna try getting a new video out for you guys this week. It's gonna take a long time to make too. It's gonna be really difficult to make as well, because it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of patience. So anyway, though, guys, I'm gonna see you later. Peace out.